I'm so glad that you guys are back, and I'm so excited for this video. I have been looking forward to filming this for so long, and I mean, it's not that long in the making. I just started purchasing books in January, so it isn't that long in the making, but I've been excited and jittery and just cannot wait to film this video. So these are all the books that I purchased in the month of January and February. I put myself on a book buying ban until the end of February because I have no self-control. But yeah, so all my books are in. I'm not waiting on anything. I'm not planning on buying anything in the next week and a half. So I figured this would be the perfect time to sit down and film this video. And I'm so excited. So yeah, I'm not going to talk too much more because there are a lot of books here. So grab a snack, grab some tea, get yourself comfortable because we're in it for a long ride here. So the first books that I'm going to start off with, so I sectioned these off into sections of where I got them. So different stores, things like that. So I'll just start with the closest thing that's in front of me on my TBR cart. So all of these books that I'm about to show you right now are from Barnes & Noble. So the first book that I have here is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. I really wanted to pick up a classic book, and so I figured this would be the perfect, you know, dipping my toe into classics. And I mean, this gorgeous is cover. My gosh, this cover is gorgeous, and yeah, so I just couldn't say no. It is so pretty. And yeah, I really like it, and it has sprayed edges. It is gorgeous. I love it so much, and I cannot wait to read this. Okay. The next book that I picked up is actually a recommendation from my sister. It's Women Who Run with Wolves, Myths and Stories of Wild Women, I can't read. I don't know why I even picked up book. I can't even read. I don't know. But yes, I'm excited to read this book. She recommended it, so that every woman that should read this book, and so I'm really excited to read it. I have not yet delved into it, but I will be doing that very soon. And then the next book that I have here is The Last Magician. The Last Magician is something that I don't really know too much about. I heard it floating around on BookTube and thought, why not give it a try? I know it is about like a lost city of magic, I believe. Like I said, I'm not too keen on the synopsis for this, but I am kind of okay with that. I'm kind of okay going in blind in this book and not really knowing too much about it and hoping that I really enjoy it. So yes, I cannot wait to read this, and hopefully it's good. And the next set of books here that I got are also all from Barnes & Noble, and I got the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. So it is I don't even know what the correct trilogy name for this, but it's The Cruel Prince and the two other books in the series. So The Cruel Prince, ooh, ow, I just hit my elbow, The Wicked King, and The Queen of Nothing. And so I picked up The Cruel Prince back in January, and I read it, and I really enjoyed it. So I picked up the other two books because I wanted to make sure that I finished out the trilogy, and I'm very excited for The Wicked King. I hope that it's good. It is on my next month's TBR, so I cannot wait for this. If you guys don't know what this book is about, it is about a girl named Jude and her three sisters that were kidnapped from the human world after their parents were murdered right in front of them by her kidnapper and one of the daughter's dad that she didn't really know was the dad, but that's what turned out. They get taken to the fairy world, and she's trying to maneuver her new lifestyle in this place where she is looked down upon because she's human, and humans are thought of as weak and lesser. And so yeah, that's pretty much the basis of the story. There's a lot of politics in regards to royals in this book, and a hate to love romance. So yeah, I'm excited to read the second book. I really liked it, so yeah. Those were the three books that I picked up from Barnes & Noble's on that trip. And then the last two books that I picked up from Barnes & Noble's, which will actually lead us into one of the other stores that I bought, were the Jenny Han To All the Boys I Love series. I did read these, but I accidentally picked up Always and Forever Laura Jean at Target. I accidentally picked up the Always and Forever Laura Jean book at Target, and I didn't realize that it was part of this series, and so I went to Barnes & Noble and picked up the other two because Target didn't have them. And so this is a trilogy as well. It is about a girl named Laura Jean who writes letters to the boys that she's loved in the past as a way of getting rid of her feelings and things like that, and then she ends up in this fake romance with a boy named Peter Kaminsky, and it's the fake romance that turned into something a little bit more. So it's a great book. I do like the movies. I did watch the second one and I did really enjoy it. So yeah, those are all the books from Barnes & Noble. And since we've moved on to Target, I'll show you the rest that I got from Target, which is only one more. And that's The Right Swipe. I believe this is a book about social app dating and things like that. I didn't really read the synopsis. I just really loved the cover and I was like, I'll buy it. I like contemporary romance. So I figured, what's the hurt? So yeah, this is The Right Swipe, and it's by Alicia Rai. Ray or Rai? I have no idea. But those are all the books that I picked up from Target. All right, next are the books that I picked up from Ralph's. And so now there's this running joke in my relationship that I can't go anywhere without picking up a book, and that is very true. So I was at the grocery store and I picked up some books. So this is actually a book that my grandma got me. I still have to take the tag off, but a book that my grandma got me for Valentine's Day because she's the best grandma ever. So it's Sisters by Choice. I read the synopsis while I was in there at Ralph's, and I honestly don't really remember it. I hope that it's good. It seems like a nice contemporary book that I hope will be good. So the next book that I picked up was Reflection. This is part of the Twisted Tale series. I haven't read any of the other ones, but I believe they're all standalone, so I don't really need to. They're just a twist of the modern Disney stories or whatever. And so I know they've done a Frozen one. I can't remember the other ones, but this is a Mulan retelling, and it's What If Mulan Traveled to the Underworld, and I'm very excited to read this. This is something that I hope that I can read next month, but I already have a growing TBR, so I don't know if I'll be able to squeeze it in, but if I can, I definitely will. And then the last book that I got from Ralph's was The Playground. This is actually the oldest book on my shelves currently that I have not read yet, so I picked this up at the beginning of January from Ralph's, and I don't really remember what it's about. I'm pretty sure it's a thriller or a suspense kind of novel. This is definitely on my TBR for March, so hopefully I like it, but I know I'm not really giving a lot of synopsis here, but it's only because I really don't remember the synopsis, so sorry about that. Alright, and the next group of books that I have here are from Walmart, and so this was the first book that I purchased in my start of book buying this year, and this is Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell, and it was a thriller mystery novel where this parent has lost her child. So the main character, I forget her name, Ellie has lost her daughter, presumably dead, because they don't know. It's been 10 years and she disappeared and nobody knows what happened to her. But after they find some of her remains, what they think are her remains, she is trying to move on. She gets into a new relationship, but the relationship seems to be giving her some more evidence about her daughter's disappearance that she didn't know about, and the man that she's in a relationship with, his youngest daughter, looks very, very similar to her daughter that disappeared, if not identical, and so she's trying to figure that out, and I did like it. It was a good book. I'd be very willing to pick up some more of Lisa's books in the future, so I hope that I can do that. And the last book I picked up from Walmart is 5 Feet Apart. This book is so good. I loved it so much. It was one of my favorite books that I've read this year so far. I annotated it. I loved it. I cried. I watched the movie right after I read it. I know this is it seems like on BookTube and Goodreads, this is a very unpopular opinion. A lot of people did not like this book, but I personally loved it so much. So this is about a boy and a girl who have cystic fibrosis. They meet in a hospital during one of their visits, and they fall in love, but the problem with CF patients, the problem with CF patients is they can't be together because their disease doesn't allow them to come closer than 6 feet. And so, if you guys haven't read this book or seen the movie, it's so good. Please just read it. It is so good. But those are all the books that I picked up from Walmart. All right, the next 2 set of books that I have are from Book of the Month. So I do subscribe to Book of the Month subscriptions. They have like 5 books that you can choose from of different genres, and then you just pick one and they send it to you each month, and then you can add on a book, I believe, for $10. So they have totally like a ton of different options. I can't talk. They have a ton of different options for you to choose from, and it's really awesome. I love the service. So the first book that I got in January was The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, and this is about a young girl named Natasha that is about to be deported back to Jamaica with her family. and that is like this is her story of trying to figure out how to save her family and keep them in the United States before they get deported. And she meets this boy named Daniel. I can't remember Daniel, and they meet in New York in the middle of Times Square, and it's about them trying to navigate their romance in one day before she gets deported and trying to save their family together. And so I liked it. It was a horrible description of the synopsis, but this is also a movie if you guys don't want to read the book. And I really liked the book. It wasn't my favorite thing in the whole wide world, but I did enjoy it. And I definitely want to pick up Nicola Yoon's other book, Everything. So yeah, I'm intrigued with that. And then I picked up the February book pick was Anna Kay, and this is by Jenny Lee. And this is I think the way it was described was an Anna Karenina retelling. And it's just basically about this girl named Anna Kay. And actually, I am in the middle of reading this book, and it's about a lot of different people in the story. It's told by I think it's 7 different perspectives. It's a lot, but she basically, Anna has a boyfriend that she's been with for quite some time, but she's finding that their relationship is boring and not at all not at all exciting like everyone talks about how love is supposed to be. And so she meets this guy, and she is now battling with what she's willing to give up for this guy that she is having feelings for, and the consequences of that. So I'm in the middle of reading it. I think I'm 50 pages in, and I still haven't decided if I like it or not, but let's move on to the next stack. So I was going to do these last, but these were already on my TBR cart off the top, so I figured I might as well just do these now. And these are the library books that I've checked out recently, that I will have to be taking back quite soon. And I don't know the synopsis for all of these because I just kind of picked them up in a whim. I went to the library on my lunch, and I was like, oh, I gotta get out of here really quick. So I just picked up whatever I could. So this is All of Us with Wings. When I read the synopsis, it looked really good. It was in the diverse section, so I'm hoping that it has some type of diverse representation. If not by the author, then at least by the character. And I think it is going to, but I haven't really read the synopsis since I picked it up at the library, but I hope that it's good. And then a book that I'm currently in the middle of is Dear Haiti, Love Elaine. I picked this up because I wanted to read something written by a Black author with Black representation of the character during Black History Month. And so this is the book that I picked up. I don't know what the author's name is because it's covered up back here, but let's see. Oh, it's written by 2 authors, and I'm not going to pronounce those names. But this is basically about a girl who, it's not really explained too much, but she plays a prank in class during one of her class presentations, and as a result, she gets suspended from school and gets sent to her hometown, well, where her parents were born in Haiti. And it's basically a coming-to-age story of her learning more about her heritage and her family and her mother that she has a strained relationship with. So I'm currently in the middle of this. I might be DNFing it, but I'm currently in the middle of it. And then the next book that I picked up from the library is The Gilded Wolves. I don't really know too much of what this is about. I've heard good things and bad things about this on the BookTube world. So I'm hoping that it'll be good, but I don't really remember what that's about. And then I picked up The Starless Sea, which has gotten rave reviews on BookTube, and so I really wanted to pick it up. I have not been able to crack this open just yet, but I'm hoping that I will be able to do that very, very soon. This is about a boy who is in the library, and he is going through one of the books, and he's reading these passages, and all of a sudden he reads a passage that's from his life. And so he is trying to figure out how to cope with that and navigate that, and how this passage from his life is even in this book that seems to be older than he is. And then they go to find the Starless Sea. That's pretty much all I know just about the book part, but everyone said that this book is so whimsical and beautiful and is a to-be-read book, so that's one of the books I picked up. My lord. Okay, so this one is a quick and easy one. This is a book called The Wedding by Danielle Steele. My grandma gave this to me when I was getting married, and I still haven't read it, but I figured I would include it in this book haul because why not? This is about a girl that gets married. I have no idea. I lost the dust jacket, and so I don't know what this book is about, but I will be getting around to reading this because my grandma wanted me to read it, and so I really should. So yeah, that's that. And then so now I'm going on to books that I picked up at a second-hand bookstore. here near me, and so I will show you guys what I picked up there. So I picked these all up from different bookstores around me. It was 2 different ones. One of them, these books were for $1, and the others were like $2 or $3. So it's kind of hard to say no to those things, and I have no self-control. So the first books that I picked up were Catching Fire and Mockingjay. I still have to pick up the first book in the trilogy, the Hunger Games trilogy. I'm sure you guys all know what this is about, so I'm just gonna show you that I got them and breezed right past them. And then I also picked up Divergent and Insurgent. They didn't have dust jackets on them when I bought them, so this is what they look like without the dust jackets on, but I still think they're really pretty, and I picked these ones up for $1 as well. Again, if you guys haven't read the books, I'm pretty sure you've seen the movies, so I'm not going to talk too much about that synopsis, but yeah. And then the same thing with these books. I'm not even gonna touch on these, but I picked up the entire, this is out of order, but you know what you get the point, the entire Twilight series. That's very hard to hold up all in the same go, but yes, I did pick these up for $1, and I've already reread Twilight so far this month, and I'm excited to continue my reread with that. And this is another reread that I'm doing that I picked up at the dollar store as well, and these are the 50 Shades of Grey books. I did really enjoy these books in high school, and I really enjoyed the movies as well, which is a very unpopular opinion, I know, but I'm actually rereading them because I heard a lot of mixed reviews on these books, and after doing some research as to why everybody doesn't like these books, I figured I'd reread them and see if I agree with their opinions. So I picked these up, and I am currently in the middle of reading the second one right now, so we'll see how that goes. And then I picked up A Walk to Remember by Nicholas Sparks. So I really loved the movie when I watched it, and every time I watched it I cried like a baby, and so I figured why not read the book. And so yeah, that's it. If you don't know what this is about a girl. What is her name? Oh, Jamie. Her name is Jamie. That took a long time. So this is about a girl named Jamie and a boy named Landon, and she is like the geek nerd at school, and he is the hot jock, and as you know, most love stories during this time go, they fell in love, but she's actually sick, and so she is dealing with mortality and trying to get things crossed off her bucket list before she passes, and he helps her with that, and this is just about their love story. I love this movie, and I'm hoping the book is just as good. And then while I was at the dollar store, I picked up the Shadow Kiss, which is part of the Vampire Academy series. This is the third book, and so they didn't have the first book, unfortunately, but I figured I'd pick it up anyways, and I'm sure I would be able to find the first book, which I did. So yeah, that's this book, and I don't really remember what the synopsis is on the first book, so I'm just going to gloss past this. But yes, that's what I picked up. And then the last book that I have from this section is Anna and the French Kiss. This is about a girl named Anna that gets sent to a boarding school in Paris by her parents, and she didn't really want to go in the first place, but she goes, and it's just her navigating that world, and she falls in love with this boy, and it's just like a classic contemporary romance. And I actually just read this recently, and I did enjoy it. It was a reread. I think I read like half of this book in high school, because the end of this book, I had no idea what I was reading. I'd never read it before, but it was pretty good, and I will definitely be keeping this on my shelves. Okay, so these are the books that I picked up from Costco. I just picked up 2 while I was there one day, and I picked up Inside Out and Back Again. This is a middle grade book, and it is about a young girl who is escaping Vietnam after the war, and it's told in her eyes in about a span of a year. I can't talk. It's told in her eyes in about a span of a year, and it's completely written in verse. And I have never seen a middle grade book like that, and I've actually never read a book at all that's written in verse, so I figured I'd pick this up, and it looked really good, so I'm excited to read this. And then the last book that I picked up is also a middle grade. It's called Orphan Island, and this is about a island full of young kids that every year or a couple months or something, I forgot the time span, but there's a boat that comes and takes the eldest child and brings a brand new young child to the island with the rest of the children. And this book is told from the perspective of the girl that's about to get taken next, because she's now the eldest, and it's just her coming of age story, coming to grips with the fact that she's about to get taken from the only home that she's ever known, but also wanting to teach this newest little girl what this island is all about and how to navigate it. And I'm really excited to read this. I haven't read middle grade in a really long time, so I'm hoping that these books are very good. Okay, and now I'm going to go through the books that my sister gave me. So my sister had a whole bunch of books that she no longer reads anymore, so she let me have them. And so I'm going to go through a couple that I don't really know anything about. I just kind of, she asked me if I wanted them, and I said yes, and I'm going to get around to reading them soon enough. So this is called The Falconer, and like again, I said I don't really know what this is about, but I am excited to read it. And yeah. And then I have Defiance, which again, I don't really know what this is about, but I am excited to read this as well. When I read the synopsis, it did sound pretty good. And then my sister gave me, oops, these are out of order, but I'm not going to change them. It is the Cassandra Clare books, City of Bones, City of Ashes, and City of, what's the last one? City of Glass. City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Bones. No, that's wrong. But whatever, you get what I mean. So yeah, I don't remember what the synopsis is on these books. It's been a very, very long time since I've read them. This is a reread for me, but I really wanted to reread them so that I can continue on with Cassandra Clare's books because she has 1,500,000. So I'm excited to read these, and I hope they're as good as I remember them. I have a pile of books going on over here, and I'm hoping they don't all just come crashing down. Okay, and then the last 3 books that my sister gave me were Cinder, Scarlet, and Fairest. And so I did read Cinder, and all the other ones are the sequels to the book, so I'm not going to tell you about those, but this is a Cinderella retelling about a girl who is a cyborg, and she is dealing with her family that the person that adopted her, the father, had passed away, and she's left with the stepmother and the 2 stepsisters, and during one of her days at work, she meets with the prince, who's propositioned her for a job, and she is trying to figure out why the feelings between her and him are so strong, and there's a plague that's haunting this city that they live in, and she's also trying to figure that out as well, knowing that she plays a big part in it. So this book was very good. I'm excited to continue with the series. I've heard the series is really good, and this left on quite a bit of a cliffhanger, so I want to know what happens, but I have not gotten to the sequel yet. And Scarlet is the sequel, and then I think Fairest is like a novella. I think it's like 3.5 in the series, but I don't have the rest of the series, so these are what I got. Alright, this is the last stack of books before we made it to the end. Oh, thank God. And all of these books I picked up from Second Sale. It is a website online where they sell secondhand books for pretty cheap. I think the most I paid for these were $5 or $6. Most of them are like $3.98. So yeah, these are the books that I picked up, and I'll show you what I got. So I got Shadow Me by Tahereh Mafi. I don't really know what this is about, but I've heard great things about this series, and I really wanted to start with the first book, so I picked it up, and I'm hoping that it is very good, so I can continue on with that series. And then I picked up Fallen by Lauren Kate, and I just actually read this like yesterday or the day before that, and this is a reread for me. I read it in high school, and I really wanted to know if it held up to the hype that I had in my head all of these years, and so I did really enjoy it, but as I remember, the second and third book are better, so I'm hoping that they get better because it wasn't as good as I remember it being, but it was still pretty good. And so this is about a girl that just recently went through a really traumatic experience with somebody in her life, and she gets sent to this like reform school where she meets 2 guys that she is bouncing between, but she has a really, really strong pull to a guy named Daniel, and she keeps getting these flashbacks of her memory that she's trying to figure out how it connects to her life now and to her relationships that she has in this school. So I did really enjoy it, and I'm very much looking forward to reading the second one. Then I picked up Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan, and if you guys haven't read this book, there is also a movie. I like the movie so much, and I cannot wait to read the book because just to save myself a little bit of time, and this video is going to be so long, I'm just going to skim past this one, but I'm excited to read it. Another book that has a movie is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I watched this movie when it first came out in theaters, and I have not watched it since. I don't really remember how the ending of this book is, but I am very excited to read it. I'm excited to cry. I'm excited to get my tears in. But yes, I'm excited to also read a little bit more of John Green's style because I've never read any of his books, so I'm hoping that they are very good. But yeah, this is about 2 kids that meet in a cancer support group because they both have cancer, and it's just about their relationship and them falling in love, and I'm very excited to read this. Alright, another John Green book that I picked up is Turtles All the Way Down. I don't know too much about this book. I know that it has mental health rep in this book. I don't know too much about it, honestly, but I'm very excited to read it. I heard a lot of things that basically said that if you're going to read any John Green book, this is the book to read. So I'm very excited and I cannot wait to read this. Oh. And the last John Green book that I picked up is Looking for Alaska. I'm very excited to read this as well. This one I have zero idea about what this is about, but I'm very excited to read it, and I'm hoping that it is very good. Okay, the last book that I have not read at all, the last two are rereads for me, but I have Geekerella, which is a Cinderella retelling about a fangirl and a boy in Hollywood. That's pretty much all I know, and the fact that it's a Cinderella retelling, so you can pretty much figure out what this is going to be about, but I'm excited to read it. I've heard good things about it, and I didn't realize how heavy this book is. Like, it's a really heavy book, and whoever read this before me took really good care of it, because it doesn't even look like it's been read before. So I'm excited to read that. And then the second to the last book that I have here is Marked. This is by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. This is a book that I read in middle school or high school, maybe like late middle school, but it is a paranormal vampire romance book, and I'm excited to reread it. I wanted to see if it still stood up to the test of time for me, and I'm excited to read it. And then the last book is also another vampire paranormal romance, which is Vampire Academy. The first book to Shadowkiss, I think, is the one that I have. But yeah, I don't really remember what this is about other than that it's paranormal vampire set in a school setting, and I'm very excited to reread this. Like, this is like so high up on my list. I really want to read this. So yes, we've made it to the end. That is the very, let me double check. I think we got them all. That is the very last book that I picked up in January, February. I am so happy to have all these books and to be in such a great reading mood. I cannot wait to share with you guys the books that I've read this year so far. That'll be at the end of this month, and then at the beginning of March, I will be showing you guys what my plans are for March reading. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this movie. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. I'm so excited for what's to come on this channel. I plan to be doing a lot more bookish content, as well as I will be still be doing my regular content that I was putting out before, but books are a big part of my life now, and so I want to showcase this on this channel as well. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and of course, don't forget to smash that post notification bell so you don't miss another video from me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!